Ever landed at your dream destination only to find, like, your luggage decided to go on, like, a solo trip to Antarctica?
Oh, yeah.
Or
yes, I've been there.
maybe you've nervously eyed that extra insurance option at the rental car counter and you're like, is this worth it?
Right.
Well, get ready to rethink travel insurance because today we're uncovering the hidden perks that could turn those travel nightmares into, like, manageable hiccups.
You know, we tend to think of travel insurance as just covering the big stuff.
Yeah.
Like medical emergencies and cancellations.
Right.
But it's like a Swiss Army knife of protection.
Okay.
With so many tools you don't even know you have.
Exactly. And we've got a fascinating blog post here from My Insurance Advice UK titled Hidden Benefits of Travel Insurance You Didn't Know About.
Yes.
It's from September 1st, 2024.
Cool.
And it's packed with insights that could honestly save you a ton of money and stress.
Yeah. It really highlights how travel insurance isn't just about fixing problems. It's about empowering you to travel with confidence.
I love that. So let's jump right in. I think we all know about the basics: medical, cancellation, lost baggage. But where things get really interesting is when we dig a little deeper. Let's talk travel delays.
Okay.
I think most people assume it's just about getting a few bucks for snacks while you wait.
Right.
Oh.
Here's a voucher for a soggy sandwich. Good luck.
Exactly.
But it's so much more powerful than that. Think about it.
Okay.
If your flight gets canceled and you're stranded overnight, that's a hotel, meals, maybe even transportation to a new airport.
Yeah.
Easily.
Wow.
A couple £100 or more, all potentially covered by your insurance.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about, the real world impact.
Exactly.
You're not just getting a snack, you're getting a safety net?
Yes.
For those unexpected travel hiccups?
Exactly. And while we're on the topic of unexpected situations, let's talk emergency medical evacuation. This one might sound a bit dramatic, but it's a game changer.
Honestly, even the phrase medical evacuation gives me chills. It sounds like something out of an action movie.
It can be, but it's also a lifesaver.
Right.
Medical transport,
especially
if you need to be flown to a specialist facility in another country, can be incredibly costly. We're talking tens of thousands of pounds in some cases. And it's not just about dramatic rescues from remote locations. Imagine you're traveling in a country with limited health care and you suddenly need surgery or specialized treatment. Your insurance could cover getting you to a facility that's better equipped to handle your needs.
That makes so much sense. It's about having access to the right care wherever you are in the world. Okay, next up, and this one's a universal fear, lost passports. We've all been there, frantically tatting our pockets, feeling that wave of panic.
It's a traveler's worst nightmare. But having insurance with lost passport assistance is like having a personal assistant who specializes in bureaucratic chaos. They can help you navigate the process of reporting the loss, getting a replacement, even expediting the process. If you're on a tight schedule.
So it's not just about advice. They're actually taking action to help you get back on track.
Exactly. Some policies even offer a concierge-type service, handling all the paperwork and logistics for you. Talk about taking a weight off your shoulders in a stressful situation.
Okay, next up we have personal liability coverage. Now, I'll admit I'm a little fuzzy on what exactly this covers in the context of travel. It's essentially about those oops moments that could turn into major financial headaches. Imagine you're exploring a bustling market in Marrakech. And you accidentally bump into a stall, sending a tower of delicate ceramics crashing down.
Oh, no.
Or maybe you're enjoying a coffee in a Parisian cafe. And you spill your latte all over someone's expensive laptop. Those are the situations where personal liability coverage steps in.
Okay, now that you put it that way, I totally see how important that is,
especially when you're in a foreign country, and you might not be familiar with like the local laws and customs. Exactly. It protects you from those unexpected costs that can arise from accidental damage or injury that might cause while traveling.
Speaking of potential travel mishaps, let's talk rental cars. We all know the drill. You're at the rental counter, excited to hit the open road. And then the agent starts pushing all this extra insurance.
All the extras, right.
It can be hard to know what's really necessary.
Right. You're already spending a fortune on the rental itself. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Your travel insurance might have you covered already.
Okay.
Many policies include rental car protection, covering damage to the car theft, and even liability if you're at fault in an accident.
So before you shell out extra cash at the counter,
exactly,
it's definitely worth checking your travel insurance policy to see what's already included. It could save you a significant amount of money.
Absolutely. It's one of those hidden perks that can really pay off.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground already, but before we move on, there's one more benefit we need to address, and it's a bit of a tough one to talk about. Accidental death and dismemberment coverage, or AD&D. I know it's not a pleasant topic, but it's an important one.
Yeah.
While we don't like to dwell on the worst case scenario, AD&D coverage provides financial security for your loved ones in case of a fatal accident or serious injury during your trip.
It's about having that peace of mind.
Yes.
Knowing that your family will be taken care of, even in the face of unimaginable circumstances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a difficult conversation to have, but it's a crucial part of responsible travel planning.
Well said.
Yeah.
So we've just scratched the surface of these hidden benefits of travel insurance. There's so much more to explore. So stay tuned as we continue our deep dive into the world of travel protection.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive into the often overlooked perks of travel insurance. Before we jump into more hidden benefits, let's rewind for a second and dig a little deeper into what we've already uncovered.
Yeah, we threw out a lot of intriguing info, but I think it's time to unpack it a bit more. Let's start with those travel delays.
Okay.
You mentioned that coverage typically kicks in after a certain waiting period, usually between 6 and 12 hours.
Yeah.
But is that like set in stone?
Well, like most things with insurance,
the
devil's in the details.
Right.
Every policy is different, so some might have shorter or longer waiting periods.
Okay.
And it's not just about the time. You also have to look at like what qualifies as a delay in the eyes of your insurance company.
Right.
Some policies are very specific. It might have to be weather related or a mechanical issue with the plane, maybe even an airline strike.
So if I decide to like sleep in and miss my flight, I probably shouldn't expect my insurance to cover a fancy hotel stay, right?
Probably not, unless you can convince them it was due to like some unforeseen circumstance beyond your control.
Okay.
They're really looking for events that disrupt the planned itinerary.
Right.
Not personal choices.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, let's go back to emergency medical evacuation. I think we all understand the importance of having that coverage, but can you like walk us through the actual process?
Sure.
Like what happens if you find yourself in a medical emergency abroad? Who do you call first? Ghostbusters.
Tempting as that might be.
Right.
Your first call should actually be to your insurance company.
Okay.
They have 247 assistance lines specifically for these situations. Don't even worry about contacting local hospitals or ambulance services just yet.
Right.
Your insurance company is your first point of contact.
So they're like your medical advocates guiding you through the entire process.
Exactly. They'll assess the situation, figure out what's covered under your policy, look at the available medical facilities, and then coordinate everything.
Wow.
Whether it's an ambulance to a nearby hospital or an air ambulance to a specialized facility across the world.
Yeah.
They'll be the ones handling the arrangements.
Wow.
Communicating with medical professionals and making sure you're getting the right care.
Wow. That's incredibly reassuring.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a foreign country where you might not even speak the language.
Right.
It's like having a medical concierge in your back pocket.
It really takes a lot of the stress and uncertainty out of an already difficult situation.
Speaking of stressful situations, let's talk about lost passports again.
Okay.
You mentioned something about expediting the replacement process. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure.
Because let's be honest, dealing with bureaucracy is nobody's idea of fun vacation activity.
Exactly. And that's where your travel insurance can really come in handy.
Yeah.
Think of it as a fast-track service for your new passport.
Okay.
They can often pull strings and work their magic to get your passport issued much quicker than the usual process.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Especially if you have connecting flights or other travel plans that depend on having that passport in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. In some cases, they can even arrange for emergency travel documents to get you to your next destination while you wait for the new passport to be processed.
Right.
Talk about a travel lifesaver.
Now let's revisit personal liability coverage.
Okay.
You painted a very vivid picture of accidentally causing ceramic chaos in Marrakech Market. But I'm curious, are there other maybe slightly less dramatic situations where this coverage would be useful?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It's not just about those catastrophic market meltdowns.
Right.
It's about those everyday mishaps that can happen to anyone, anywhere. Spilled a drink on someone's laptop in a cafe. Bumped into someone on the street. Causing them to drop their phone and shatter the screen.
Yeah.
These are all situations where liability coverage could save you from having to pay out of pocket for repairs or medical bills.
So it's not just about protecting your belongings. It's about protecting yourself from those unexpected costs that can arise from accidents, no matter how small. It's like having a financial safety net for your clumsiness. We all have those moments where we're a little less graceful than we'd like to be.
Speaking of potential clumsiness, let's delve a little deeper into rental car protection. You mentioned that it often covers damage and theft.
Right.
But are there any specific types of damage that might be excluded?
Like what?
You know it. This is where reading the fine print really pays off. Some common exclusions include damage to tires, windows, or the undercarriage of the car.
Oh, wow.
Things that can be surprisingly expensive to fix.
Interesting. So even though it's called rental car protection, it might not be a 100% get-out-of-jail-free card for every possible mishap.
Right. And that's why it's so important to understand the scope of the coverage. And any potential limitations before you find yourself facing a hefty repair bill.
What about existing damage? Let's say I pick up a rental car and I notice a scratch that wasn't documented. What should I do?
This is a great question.
And
it's all about being proactive. Always. Always. Inspect the car thoroughly before driving off the lot. Take pictures. Or even a video of any existing damage. No matter how small.
So it's about protecting yourself from being held accountable for damage that was already there.
Exactly. Having that visual documentation could save you a lot of hassle and potential disputes down the line.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Accidental death and dismemberment coverage. We know this benefit is focused on the worst case scenario. But what are some things people should consider when evaluating this type of coverage?
Well, first of all, look at the coverage amount. Policies vary wildly. Some offer a fixed sum. Others a multiple of your trip cost. It's about figuring out what level of financial protection your loved ones might need in such a situation.
It's a tough thing to think about. But it's about making sure your family is taken care of.
Absolutely.
No matter what.
Also, consider who the beneficiaries would be and how the payout be distributed. It's about aligning the coverage with your specific family circumstances.
That's a good point. You don't want to leave anything to chance in such a sensitive situation.
And don't forget to check for exclusions. Some policies might have limitations based on like the cause of death or the activities you were engaged in at the time.
So if you're planning on doing any extreme sports or adventurous activities, make sure your policy aligns.
Exactly. It's all about making sure you have the right coverage for your individual travel plans and needs. We've covered a lot of ground on these hidden benefits. And I think the key takeaway here is don't just assume you're covered for everything. Read that policy document carefully. Ask questions and make sure you're getting the protection you need.
Knowledge is power.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to travel insurance. We'll wrap up our deep dive into travel insurance in just a bit. Stick around as we explore what this all means for you and your next adventure.